Good day, everyone. How's everybody doing on this? What is today? Today's Thursday. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Thursday? I'm gonna join with a good friend of mine. What up? What up?
We're really here. We did it.
We did it.
I'm getting better at knowing how to do the request. And how
And
you
get.
doing, John?
I'm good. I'm good. It's the weather's really beautiful here in Las
Oh,
Vegas, so it's like starting to get in the high 80s, which is nice. So
yeah,
life gets to tan out in our little backyard area, and then
yeah.
like obviously we're practicing social distancing, so like we there's a lot of spots out here where you can drive out to like dry lake beds where it's like
Uh,
desert and no one's there, so
yeah.
go out there and do like yoga and meditate and just get some
Wow.
nature vibes, during this like this crazy time period, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's been nice. Like I can't complain. Been doing a lot of dancing, a lot of yoga, just trying to keep my body in shape and up to par.
Yeah, we have to, right? You can't just stop moving.
Yes, 100%. So I'm glad you could join me because I've been doing this series of things. I just decided to kind of do it. My wife inspired me. She's like, babe, you got to start doing like podcast stuff. You're really good at like talking and getting conversations engaged. And so I started this thing called Live with Legends. And it's just me like interviewing people that I love, respect, and their artistry inspires me. And to me, they're pioneers in whatever field that they're in, and I think you're definitely that. So I just was happy to have you come on and just kind of plug your brain on a little bit of like your personal artistry history and just how you got into what you got into. So just first and foremost, I know you could be doing a lot of things. You have a family, you got all kinds of things going on. So I just appreciate you coming on here and just chatting with me and having a good time for a few minutes. So I really
I
appreciate
love you guys, and I'm glad to see that you're well, and I will do anything always for you. You know that.
it. Thank you so much. So my first question for you, Jennifer, is
Mm-hmm.
how did you get into the craft of acting? Like, what was your first like performance experiences? It could have been elementary school, middle school, high school. Like, what was your first introduction to just performance artistry?
Well, ballet. I was a dancer, of
Ooh.
course, and in a little town in West Virginia, and I danced all the time. I was really into it. And then the same teacher that ran the dance studio and the dance company also ran the local community theater. And
Uh-huh.
so I did both. And then when I went to college, I danced some, but I had been dancing like, hours every day. And I switched down to, I kind of read a play. I read Crimes of the Heart, one of the first days of college.
Hmm.
And it's about three Southern sisters who eat their way out of, who eat their feelings. And I'm one of three Southern sisters who we really like food a lot. And I just remember laughing out loud in the library at school and feeling like these are plays. I want to know more plays. So I did a real deep dive in college, and I worked in summer stock, and I built the sets, and I scrubbed the toilets and helped iron the costumes, and just kind of worked my way up.
That's amazing. And like, so how did you transition from, like what was your first transition into doing film? You've done so many amazing films from Dallas Buyers Club to Juno to
Mm.
Daredevil to so many different things you've done. Like, what was your transition into the film industry? Like, how did that happen?
That was weird because I only ever, I don't know, I didn't think I would try to be a professional actress. It's just what I did in college. And I thought, oh, I'll go back to medical school or to law school or something. And then, but I really had a full resume. I had performed every summer, so many different roles, and all through school. And I went to visit a friend in New York after finishing. I was working in a strip mall in Florida,
Hmm.
and doing a musical. And I went to visit a friend from that, and because I had an audition for Utah Shakespeare for the next summer. And I went on a few auditions out of backstage, and I just got really lucky and I got all the jobs that day. You know how you just have those days where it all goes your way. I think I was so fresh off the bus and I was really like, hi, I'm Jennifer, I'm from West Virginia. And I got all the jobs. And then I just found an apartment. I lived on a woman's kitchen floor for 9 months. I found her on Actors Equity bulletin board. And I found a hostessing job like right then. So, and then once I was there, my first job was understudying a play on Broadway. And I was so broke, like really couldn't afford the subway broke. And I auditioned and got a job playing Melissa Gilbert's daughter in a Danielle Steele miniseries. And that was the switch.
That's crazy. It reminds me of when I first moved to LA, and it was me, Little Buck, Ron, 5 of us, and we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment for like 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Street performed on Venice Beach and Santa Monica for like every day, like literally Monday through Sunday, unless it was cold, you know what I mean? And sometimes it would affect your ability to make a little bit of money out there busking on the streets and stuff like that. It was tough. It was tough times, but like, you know, those are like the moments I feel like build character in people. You know, you're either passionate about something and you really want to do it, and that's crazy to hear that you like slept on a kitchen floor for 9 months, like just to pursue your dreams. Like that's super rad. So like I think about my inspirations, like Nicholas Brothers, Baryshnikov, Gregory, even current people that are my peers, Lauren Lovett, Little Buck, like so many people. Like, who are some of your like biggest inspirations when you were getting into the craft of acting, or who was it that you may have looked at and been like, that's what I want to try to put into my DNA as an artist? You know what I mean? Like, who was?
Yeah, when I was first starting out, somebody at a theater where I was working in Atlanta, Georgia Shakespeare Festival, he actually, his last name is Garner, Richard Garner. He said to me, it was an offhanded comment, but he said, you remind me, I went to graduate school with Annette Bening, and you remind me of her. And he said she was a dancer and she changed and became an actor. And now she's, you know, then she was a mom, and she was a serious mom, not a joke around mom. And that just stuck with me. You just need something. You need something to kind of reach for and hold on to. And that she became someone that I really, really look to for inspiration. And I love her technique and her whimsy and her ability to throw it all away. And, you know, I don't pretend to be Annette Bening, but she is someone that I just have always looked up to.
Got it. Now, I know this might be tough because you played so many roles. So it's like a double question. It's like, it can be either or. Like, what were some of your favorite roles that you've played in films? And if you don't have a favorite, if you just like a bunch and it's hard to narrow it down, what is one of the most difficult ones that you've done, whether that's been, you know, physically or just like finding the character or developing the character for you? Like, what's maybe a role that was either something you really enjoyed or one of your favorites, or if it wasn't one of your favorites, maybe something that's like, ooh, that was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated it would be, you know?
Well, I would say it's not film, but Alias was such a dig deep kind of role. It was the first thing I had done. I was dealing with becoming well known as I was, you know, it's like you're fixing the jet as you're flying the jet. So you're learning about how to exist in the world in this new way while it's all happening around you. And it was just such a marathon. It was such an intense time. I had, I would work these crazy days, obviously, but from like 4:45, I'd work out first and then be at work 4:45, 5 on Monday. And then I'd finish at like 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. So then I would I'd sleep until noon, and then I would have a photo shoot. And then the next day they would say, okay, well, you have Swedish this week. Your Swedish tutor is coming over, then your German tutor, then you have fight rehearsal on Sunday. So, and then I would try to learn lines to keep up because we were doing 8 pages a week. So it was just so single. I could never do that as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so single-minded and such a beautiful, focused time that I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful for my dance training. First of all, it made the physicality of it possible.
Mm-hmm.
But the discipline of it, the mindset, it really helped me just say, okay, I have to just be all in, balls to the wall, nothing else matters.
And like, you know, what's crazy is like, I see a lot of like dancers who transition, like you have maybe transition into acting or transition into a different form of.
Like you and Lil Buckwell.
We're trying,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like we're trying to see what we can do. But like, I guess, what is it about dance? Because you're such an advocate for the art form, and I have to touch base while people are listening, because like, it's people like you, Natalie Portman. There's so many people that still appreciate the craft, and it means so much to artists like ourselves, because we feel like, you know, every artistry matters. Acting, singing,
Yeah.
dancing, it all takes a level of skill. It all takes a level of hard work and dedication. And it's like, it's just great to see you always send love to the dance community all around the world, different genres. Like, what is it about movement still to this day, even though you're not full on dancing like maybe you were when you were young,
No.
still like attractive?
um, it's just, it's an expression of joy. And I think it's so important, you know, I think part of our jobs on this earth, I guess I've been thinking about this a lot the last 6 weeks, but we are meant to live in joy. And sometimes that's a job. Sometimes that's not a given. Sometimes the clouds are gray, but we're meant to find it and to share it. And that's totally just like, I don't know, my ooga booga thought on it. But dance is that for me. And that's why it was so important for me to share you guys dancing in Save with Stories, because first of all, I think kids exposure is so important. You need to be exposed to everything, every kind of dance, every kind of music, every kind of art out there, because the more you take in, the more rich your mind is when you're going to sleep at night, or when you're thinking of an inference from one thing, and it reminds you of, oh, the specificity of the way, you know, you move versus the way Buck moves, or, you know, I just think that stuff is so, it becomes who you are. And so it just felt like a great opportunity to share the joy in what you do, which you did so beautifully for us, but also to just create and build an audience.
Nice, nice. And can you tell us, like, for those who may not know, like, what is Save the Children? What is Save the Stories? Like, what this all this great work you've been doing with these organizations, like, can you tell us like about it? What's the mission statement? Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh my gosh. Well, Save the Children is this global organization. It's the second largest after UNICEF, that focuses on the health and safety and well-being and education of children around the world. And I've been an ambassador for them, and I've been on the board for I've been an ambassador for over a dozen years, and on the board for 7, I think. So it's really kind of my life's work. And I specifically work in the American programs, which is rural America, whether that's, you know, California or Native American reservations, or where I'm from in West Virginia, or Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, you know, just kind of all the way behind the back hollers. Yeah. And so when this all started, Amy Adams is a friend of mine, and she called and said, you know, I'm really thinking about the kids who are going to miss school and who will miss food. And I think we should find celebrities to read and ask for donations. And I got to work. I said, actually, I do work with an organization that doesn't typically work on feeding people, but now I think we have to, because we do have boots on the ground, and that's the most important thing. So we launched into it the next day. We named it Save with Stories, and then it really has been run. I mean, it was her brainchild, but it's really been run from my house, and we've just been balls to the wall for the last 6 weeks.
I've been doing it. Well, I have one more question for you.
Tell me, did you guys get married? Are you married, man? Look at that. Congratulations. What a lucky guy.
I am lucky. I am.
Yeah.
Lucky. she's actually chilling over here right now.
Hello, tons of love. Congratulations. I
Yeah.
can't wait to celebrate with you guys in person. Okay, one more question. Sorry.
One more question.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, you've played all these roles, but to me, your biggest role is being a mother to your children. So like, how has being a mother just, and I know that's probably so hard to sum up in one quick sentence, but how has it changed the trajectory of your life, the way you view your craft, just in general? How has it changed Jennifer? Like, how has just being a mother just changed you?
I mean, it magnifies everything about you. It magnifies my goody two-shoeness. It magnifies my my happiness, my frustration with my own shortcomings, my patience, my lack of patience, all of it. It is just one of the biggest shifts you'll definitely go through in your life. You guys will do it really well. Yeah. But it's easy because I mean, depending on how you look at it, it's really hard. But it's also, as soon as you have them, you can think like, well, I'm going to wait until this, I'm going to wait until that. But when you have the child, your life shifts because there is a child. You don't get to say, oh, I'll shift in a minute. Nope, they're there and they have to be dealt with. And so I don't know, they just make me laugh so much, and they are kind of the greatest joy. I mean, you've been around them. They're really nice, and they're funny and sweet, and they just guide me through life because I watch how adaptable they are and how smart and how much love they have to give. And I think, okay, I can be more like them.
That's so rad. So I just want to say this before we sign off, that like, you're not only a great actress, philanthropist, dancer, advocate, like you're truly, to me, a gem, and I'm very blessed to know you and have you in my life, and somebody that I look at as you wear many hats, and I think that's a powerful strength that you have, is your ability to just be diverse in so many different things that you do, and you do them all well and with a lot of love and a lot of passion. And it's just great to have those examples in your life that you can look at and go, great parent, great artist, great philanthropist. You're just doing so many things for
my gosh, thank you so much, Buzz. That means so much to me.
That's why you're blessed. To me, it's like me and my friend Saul and Buck, we call it like cultural currency. You know what I mean? Doing things for people that it's beyond monetary value, because you're doing it from a place of love. Like, you can't put a value on it, and to do things like that and still be great at what you do, it's like a cherry on top. So we just appreciate you. I know my wife appreciates you, Buck, and thanks for taking time, because I really wanted to have you on here, because even for my own educational purposes, I'm like, I just want to ask her a few questions that I didn't get to ask her when I was in person, so it was great that you gave
We'll have lots and lots of time to sit and have good long chats, and we can talk it all through. But I'm always here for you guys, and I'm excited to watch you go on the ride, because I see it all coming for you, and you deserve all of it and more.
Appreciate it, Jen. We love you.
Peace. You too. Bye. You guys